I have diagnosed myself as suffering from a condition I call HPS.
Right, Lee's team.
So, the obvious question, what does HPS stand for?
Heavy pelvis syndrome.
Heavy pelvis syndrome?
Ah.
Are you showing off? Can you describe the symptoms?
I can't swim.
Right.
Because your pelvis is too heavy.
Bingo. Which is why I feel like this is cheeky, because it's like, I do suffer from this. Do you know what I mean? It's not self-diagnosed, it's just diagnosed.
Whoa. It's been diagnosed by a doctor?
I'm getting a doctorate soon, so...
Yeah, I've got one of them. They count for nothing.
No. Don't ruin this for
Trust me, I've done it. If they say on a plane, if we got a doctor here and you put your hands up, you're in for a whole world of pain. Did you try swimming when you were younger, as a child?
I've drowned a few times, yeah.
Well, you haven't, have you?
Nearly drowned 3 times as a result of HPS.
When was the first time?
I'm in the pool, I'm in the middle, and I've got a decision to make. I could either walk back to the shallow end stairs, or walk towards the deep end. And as I start to stroll, I feel like an alarming amount of weight from my pelvis.
How would you weigh the pelvis?
It's not about how I weigh the pelvis, it's about how the pelvis weighs me down.
Well, Abby, if you lie flat on the floor and we were to lift your pelvis, would we feel the weight?
Yeah,
you want to lift me with my pelvis? Come, darling.
Come on, then. If you could lie flat on the ground there, please, sir.
Well, put your knees up.
1 second, you gotta help me down.
Gotta help you down. Watch the belt. Boom! I'll tell you what, that's a heavy pelvis.
Put your knees up.
I think that maybe we should have a doctor in attendance.
But then, if he puts his feet flat, we'll feel the weight of the pelvis, won't we?
Yeah, but he won't be able to lift. Just relax.
Yeah, it's not.
Is it heavy?
It's quite a heavy pelvis, but I think he might be forcing it down.
Help me up.
You need to compare it to another pelvis, really.
You! Harry, you've had a chance to examine the patient. What would you recommend?
Well, I think you just need some swimming lessons.
What's it going to be?
You say true?
It's made up, of course it is. It's a lie.
I'll go with Jill. We'll say it's true. But
true.
I would like to point out, I don't think he's got it.
Right.
I think he believes he's got it.
Okay.
Koji, truth or lie?
HPS is a real syndrome, and it's true.
He did think a bit too quick.
Right. Read that for us, mate.
Oh, you're so show busy. Read it yourself. I once offended a member of a heavy metal band when I told him his metal wasn't heavy enough.
OK, what was the heavy metal band?
Well...
You can say what... I don't know the names of any heavy metal bands, so just say anything.
Nor do I.
I'm on the radio, so I might.
Oh, right, OK.
I might.
Error type 11.
Oh, no. We don't play them on radio, too.
All right.
When was this, Chris?
Oh, this was maybe 20-odd years ago.
Right.
And how did you encounter the band Error Type 11?
I went to watch them.
Right. Because you were already a fan?
No. Yes. I thought I was.
So how had you heard of Error Type 11 in order to go to one of their gigs?
I had the album. I went to a concert, and I was expecting them to be really quite heavy, and they were quite whiny.
Oh.
So, hang on, so you're not talking about literal metal?
It's a genre of music, David.
I know it's a genre of music.
It's a very loud, thrashy
I
metal.
wondered whether there might have been some sort of play on words within the assertion. But
No. I thought you were joking. That was a genuine question.
I thought there might have been some circumstances where, I don't know...
They were carrying some metal.
Yeah,
maybe. And he had a chance to hold it and then say, I thought your metal was going to be heavier.
OK, so
in what scenario would that happen? then!
I'm going to tell you.
Go on, then.
Chris is sharing a flat with someone who's in a heavy metal band many years ago.
Right.
And this person has to go and buy some saucepans for the flat. And then the saucepans are of insufficient quality for Chris's needs. And one of the signs of that is, unlike, say, a Le Creuset, this is a very light saucepan. It's not heavy enough. And Chris finds that hilarious. Yeah. The idea that this heavy metal musician has bought stupidly light metal for a domestic context. Now that would be an anecdote.
Yeah.
But what happens is you had bought the album and were disappointed.
Well, they weren't as heavy as I thought they were going to be. And I mentioned this to one of the band members in the interval.
In the interval? I've not been to many gigs. So there's an interval in which it's possible to mingle with the band.
They had an interval, and they came off the front of the stage to the bar.
To chat.
To get some drinks.
All right.
Basically, it wasn't the band I thought it was.
So it wasn't Error Type 11?
So the band I saw was Error Type 11.
But the band you'd hoped to see was...
Eyelid.
Okay. And how did you manage to buy tickets to an Error Type 11 concert when what you'd wanted was tickets to an Eyelid concert?
Because I had the CDs in the wrong cases.
So you had been listening repeatedly to Eyelid's music and attributing that music to Error Type 11.
Yeah, and the other way around.
Did they have similar album covers then? Eyelid and... What's it called?
Error Type 11.
I don't know if anyone's mentioned this, but I'm blind, so...
This is a bit awkward, because I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, but so's Catherine.
All right, David, what's it going to be?
True?
I think true.
I think it's a lie.
Well, the thing is, the specifics. If he was making it up, he wouldn't have said that a band member came down during the interval. He would have made up something better. So we're going to go true.
We're saying it's true. Chris, they think it's true. Was it true, or was it a lie?
It is true.
It's true. Chris did offend a heavy metaler.
On an American tour, I was repeatedly stopped by customs officials because I'd been pranked by Rod Stewart.
David's team.
Right. That's
Rod Stewart is a popular singer.
Thank you. So you're on tour in America?
Yes.
The United States of?
And South America.
South America where?
Brazil.
Just Brazil?
Yeah, forget the Rod Stewart bit. This is the real interesting bit.
OK, so we were doing a show, and Rod Stewart was there.
Which of the countries of the Americas did Rod Stewart attend your show in?
Well, this was in Ireland.
Had he come just to see McFly?
No, he was doing the same show. It was a toy show.
A toy show?
Yeah, at Christmas time. Big celebration, loads of toys.
Yes.
And McFly and Rod Stewart.
Was there a dream you had?
So Rod was there, and he's like, "Hey, Danny!" And I'm like, "Hey, Rod!"
Sure you haven't been watching Rocky?
So he said, "Do you want a lift?"
Does he mean drugs?
He went back home. He's like, "Well, I'll give you a lift on my jet."
Wasn't he sailing?
Very good, that. He said, "Oh, I need your passports." So we get on the plane, give our passports to him, and then fly to London.
Right.
So then we get a call from our tour manager. I think he was applying for a visa. So then he was like, "Guys, bad news." And he'd drawn willies on our heads.
Rod Stewart?
Like, yeah.
So Rod Stewart?
Oh, on your passport?
Yeah, no.
Just assume that you just fell asleep on the plane.
So did this mean they wouldn't recognise you at customs unless you drew a willy on your own?
It wasn't fun travelling around. Every customs were like, "You think that's funny?" Like, no, but you won't. The story is Rod Stewart drew it.
Well, it's going to delay you a lot if you tell this story.
told people at customs that Rod Stewart had drawn these appendages on your head, did they believe you?
Well, no, so we stopped saying that.
Why would Rod Stewart be performing at a toy show in Ireland? That doesn't add up.
Oh, but it's all right for McFly to do that, isn't it?
Right, time to go for a guess, David. What do you think?
Okay. I think it's false.
You think I don't think it's true.
You don't think it's true? I think it's true. I'm not confident enough to overrule. I'm just, you know...
Well, what are you doing in the captain's seat, then, you coward?
Despite my scepticism, we're going to say, as a team, that we think that's a lie.
You think it's a lie? OK, Danny, was it a lie or were you actually telling the truth?
I was actually telling the truth.
Whoa!
I recently wrote a rap about the benefits of sensible pension planning.
Oh, you've got David's interest.
Could you do a bit of that rap, or...?
I don't really remember it.
You've forgotten it?
Yeah, it was a while back.
You said recently?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm new here.
How did it come about?
I do a lot of adverts for people, and they want me to rap for them. I'm a musician as well as a TV chef, and I normally rap about stuff for money.
Very honest about it.
So you were commissioned by essentially an advertising agency?
Yeah, the pensions from the government.
Do you remember any of the lines from the rap?
I know a part of it went, pension, pension.
I'm going to say something. As an actor, often when you finish a show, the whole thing goes. As soon as you have done your last show, you cannot remember a
Only he didn't, because he just sang 2 lines.
No, what he did, Gabby, was he went, pension, pension.
What he should have done is put a little bit of the rap away each month, and then, you know...
Can you remember the specifics of what the rap was trying to get across?
It was about just taking away the stigma of pensions.
Stigma?
I don't think people aren't ashamed of their pensions. I mean, my parents, I think they're quite pleased they've got pensions. They're happy to take their pension money and use it to live with.
And have you remembered any more of it in the intervening minutes?
I'm under a lot of pressure right now.
Yes.
So I can't... There's a lot of tension about the pensions.
That'll do.
There we go. He's writing my lyrics now.
So what do you reckon?
I'm not aware of a recent government campaign to raise awareness and get rid of the stigma of pensions among young people.
I don't think you not being aware of this campaign should direct us in one way or another.
You think
because I don't think your algorithm is what they would aim Big Zoo's adverts.
You get those walk-in bath adverts, don't you? Come on then, David Mitchell.
So you think it might be true?
I'm weighing towards truth. Yeah, I think it's true.
We're going to go true then.
OK, you're going to go with your team. Zoo, they think it's true. Was it true or was it a lie?
It is true.
Yeah!
Bono once fixed the flush on my downstairs loo.
Please, team.
Is that a euphemism?
Might be worth saying, Kimberly, for some of the younger viewers, Bono, of course, is the lead singer of Spandau Ballet. Sorry, you too.
I thought you were going to explain what a loo was.
And so what happened?
So we were on tour in Ireland.
And when are we talking about, Kimberly? What year would this
would have been like mid-2005-ish, I reckon.
OK.
And we were staying in these kind of like apartments, so it was the toilet downstairs in the apartment.
OK.
So basically, I went out to like the concierge type bit in the apartment block.
Bono wasn't working as the concierge, was he?
And Bono actually happened to be in the reception area at the same time. So I start shouting off that the loo's blocked. So then we start chatting, and then he's like, oh, sure, I'll fix the loo.
Was he wearing sunglasses?
Yeah, he always wears sunglasses.
That is him.
Is that it?
Always wears sunglasses.
So how exactly did Bono unblock that toilet?
So he lifts up, you know, what's it called? The cistern. Fiddles around with that floaty thing. The ball cock. And he's like, Bob's your uncle. Life lesson learned from Bono. Brilliant.
Were all girls allowed in the same apartment?
No, we had 2 between us.
Who were you with?
I was with Cheryl.
So you and Cheryl, what, in a twin room?
No,
or did you have your
we
own
had
bedroom?
our own rooms. I got carried away.
If I was getting carried away, I wouldn't have said twin beds, I'd have said a double bed, wouldn't I? And trust me, I wouldn't have had in the background the idea that your toilet was blocked.
What are you thinking, Sam?
Oh, can I ask, being in, like, a famous pop group, is that just a roller coaster?
Yes, it is. It really
That's quite a very general question.
I think it's true. I think that it's not you in your highest moment, so I think to present this is really brave.
The bit I don't like is the concierge going, yes, I'll just sort that out for you. Wait a minute, I'll sort this out. Oh, it's right, Bono from U2 is going to do it, that's all right.
So what do you think? Is it the truth?
I think it's a lie.
All right, we'll go with lie.
OK, you're going to say it's a lie. Kimberly, was it a lie or was it actually the truth?
It was, of course, a lie.
I once made a 72-hour round trip to Australia just to pick up a really rare record because I couldn't risk it getting damaged in the post.
Beastie.
Wow. What was the record? 100-metre sprint?
It was a rare Northern Soul record.
By?
Frank Wilson.
And what was the record called?
It was called Do I Love You, Indeed I Do. It was originally printed and all 500 presses were smashed because Motown didn't like it. But 2 survived, well, 2 knowingly survived. We thought we'd find a 3rd one.
Is it a single or an album?
It's a 7-inch.
Sorry, but flying all that way for a 7-inch doesn't seem like a very good use of time or money. Yeah.
The one that we know of, that I know of, sold for £28,000, so it's quite a...
And how much were you paying for it?
Well, we thought we could get it for about £9,000.
Where did you get it from? Was it from eBay or something?
No, it was just from some research, and someone phoned up and said he thinks she's got a copy of it in Melbourne, Australia.
OK.
So I went over on Qantas.
So when you got there, did the 3rd one exist?
It did exist, yeah, but it was in such a bad state. It was like someone had glued it back together.
So you couldn't play it?
No, you couldn't play it, no.
Craig, could you do a bit of the song?
Do I love you? Do I love you? Do I...
Oh, it was scratched, wasn't it? Presume you'd have been expected, if you'd have brought it back, expected to pay import duty?
I wasn't expecting that.
You might not have been expecting it, but I suspect they were.
Jeremy, what do you think?
It just seems so impractical to fly that distance and pay that amount of money to buy something. So I'm edging towards lie here.
Did you offer him anything?
I did offer him £5,000.
And he said no?
And I brought it home.
Oh,
you did buy it?
So you've got it now, have you?
Yeah.
This now sounds true.
I think it's true.
Yeah, well, I think he's well known for his love of music, so he might be mad enough to do that. We'll say it's true.
Saying it's true. They think it's true, Craig. Was it true, or were you telling us a lie?
I was telling you a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Craig didn't fly to Australia just to pick up a record.
OK, when the Spice Girls stayed in hotels, we played a special game to test who was the bravest.
What was the game?
We used to dare each other to do certain things.
What was the scariest thing you were ever dared to do?
Sing live?
Rob, you've got to watch that, because a lot of people think you're nice.
That's why you get the boat advert and me and him don't, because you're the nicest
Nice one.
Yeah.
But it's all a
Not
facade, because
anymore.
me and David know,
Not
actually,
anymore.
you are evil.
Yeah.
And now...
Welcome aboard. So, Emma, what sort of things did you do?
So the main one was, and it involved nudity.
Right.
So we used to stay in hotels a lot, obviously, while we were touring.
Yeah.
And we used to dare each other to go, like, run in the hallways, and we had to do that naked.
Naked?
Yeah. We were allowed sometimes to carry a
Clothes.
flannel.
A flannel?
Yeah.
What were you worried was going to happen?
You could cover. You had to choose a part, obviously, to cover.
Victoria could use that as a dressing gown.
So if someone saw you, you could decide which part of you were known by and cover that up.
Yeah, cover your face.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way, isn't it?
I remember once the girls made me go to the lift.
Yeah.
And wait for the lift to arrive.
No.
And then, obviously, you were lucky if it opened and no one was there.
Oh, no. I suddenly felt like...
You're really getting into this story.
I suddenly felt I'd been challenged to do it myself. Yeah. Joe, you've toured the country, haven't you, with your show? You've stayed in hotels.
Never found a flannel big enough, Rob.
I think it's the logistics of the game that interest me, typically. I want to understand better how the competition worked.
We'd take two at a time, and then the first one back, knocking on the door, that would be the winner.
It's a knockout. Two become one. It's simple.
Johnny, what do you think? True?
I think it does sound like it all adds up so far.
Sean, what are you thinking
I've
here?
been consistently wrong tonight. Unerringly wrong.
Well, in which case, if you maintain your current strategy, we can use that to win. What do you think, instinctively?
Lie.
Lie. Right, it's true, then. Right.
So, Emma, truth or lie?
Okay. It is true.
Yes, it's true. The Spice Girls really did run round hotels wearing nothing but a flannel.
For 3 months, I shared a flat with a monkey.
David's team.
When was this?
Early 70s.
And was it just you and the monkey, or were there other flatmates?
Just me and the monkey. It was in Amsterdam. The monkey's apartment was in Amsterdam, and I was...
So it was the monkey's apartment?
When he says apartment, he means in the zoo.
What was the monkey's name, John?
Charlie.
Charlie. And why only 3 months? Did the monkey kick you out?
The thing was, I was kind of monkey-sitting this animal.
What did he look like?
Oh, he was exquisite. Look, most of you are probably thinking, wow, what fun. You know. And I don't blame you. Sometimes there are things in life that are a disappointment, but living with a monkey isn't one of them.
What did he eat?
He wanted what you were eating.
Oh.
Really?
Which at the time was a lot of chips.
Did he do any tricks at all? Could he do any tricks?
Tricks? He was full of them.
What do you want? He'd have the guillotine, he'd have the sword the lady in half, he had the lot.
I used to take him to the park with one of those extendable dog leashes, you know, where you...
They had them in the early 70s.
No, they had them. But the point is, you know, that when I extended the leash, it would run up into the nearest tree. So I would be stood for ages, you know, with my arm extended up
wow.
Into a tree.
And it then looks like you're taking your tree for a walk.
So when you had to go, like, and meet this monkey, how long was the owner there with you?
Yes, of course, I did have to go for a kind of audition. He didn't want to leave his precious pal with any old schmuck.
What are you looking at me for?
You know,
How did you ace the audition?
Well, we seemed to hit it off.
You and the...
Although we did get off to a bad start, actually.
Yeah.
I went round to his apartment to audition. There was one empty chair, but it was occupied by the monkey, which was curled up asleep in this chair. So I picked it up thinking it was a cat. And then it went rigid. I could feel its ribs suddenly and all of its muscles tightened up. And it shrieked once and once only, but for about 10 minutes. It was like it was plugged into the mains. Anyway, I threw it as if 'twere a cat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it landed on the feet.
Yeah.
But he's a monkey, he didn't land on his feet. He landed in an ungainly heap. And then it kind of scuttled away, looking back over its shoulder in my direction, in a real accusatory manner.
So, John, given you were so close after 3 months, it must be very hard to say goodbye.
It was a hell of a wrench.
Yeah.
Monkey wrench. Hell of a wrench.
Chris, what are you thinking about this?
We could make anything up and it would sound true, but this sounds so plausible.
What about you, Judy?
If we're being honest, out of all of us sitting on here, if there was one person that we could think of that lived with a monkey for 3 months, who do you think that would be?
Oh, yeah. But once you've discounted David, who would it then be?
I think it's true.
You say true?
100%.
OK,
100%.
They're saying true. So, John, living with a monkey in Amsterdam, truth or lie?
They got me rumbled, it's true.
It's true, John really did share a flat with a monkey.
I once broke Bob Marley's toilet.
These two.
Wow.
When was this?
This was in the 90s, because must have been about 8.
When did Bob Marley pass away?
Bob Marley passed away in the 80s, but I mean, I just broke his toilet, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I'm not accusing you of anything.
Yeah.
Where is Bob Marley's toilet?
In Jamaica.
So is his house like a museum now?
Yeah.
You can go around and look around like Graceland.
Yeah, you can have a little
go
look
around the museum and you can use the toilet.
Well, see, that's the... OK, so this is his private toilet.
So it's not for use by...
No, I wasn't meant to be in there.
Right.
I need to go to the toilet badly, and the other toilet was real far away, and I'm drinking, like, a big bottle of water the whole way.
Yeah.
And I'm being really annoying to the tour guide.
Deliberately?
No, just because I was this annoying kid, innit? So, like...
Thank God you grew out of that.
Yeah. So as I'm talking and talking, my mum's telling me to shut up, and the tour guide's like, no, he's the future, let him speak. And I kept on asking questions, and then by the end of it, he was like...
What kind of questions were you asking?
I was just like, what's that? Who's that? Where's Bob? You know what I mean?
Are you sure you weren't playing Guess Who?
Yeah. By the end of it, he was like, this kid needs to shut up.
Right.
And then I was like, I need to go to the toilet badly, And I've rushed in, and it's sort of been slippery on the floor. And I was like a real fat kid as well. And I've just gone in, I've hit the toilet, and it's sort of just come off.
What, the Lucy?
Yeah, not the Lucy, the actual toilet freak.
The pedestal?
Yeah, the actual pedestal.
The porcelain bit?
Yeah, the
porcelain.
The porcelains, yeah, it's like shifted round.
Wow.
And as I've tried to get up and I'm slipping and I'm panicking, I've pushed it more and I've broke Bob Marley's toilet.
When he opened the door and you were there in a pool on the floor with a broken toilet, did he still think you were the future?
No, he was so mad. Really? Like, I've never seen a Rasta man not be that chill.
So you're lying on the floor. What did you do next? Did you get up, stand up?
Hey, that was good.
I'm quoting a Bob Marley song for comic effect.
Has anyone been to Jamaica?
What's that got to do with it?
Well, because I want to know if there's a Bob Marley house that you can walk around.
Oh, probably.
Oh, well, that'll do then. Thanks for the evidence.
I think it's true, you know.
What do you think, Victoria?
True.
True?
Yeah, I've gone against myself.
OK, I'll say it's true.
You're going to say it's true? OK. Jamali, truth or lie?
It is true.
Yay!
A singing coach once refused to give me lessons because he said my voice was so bad there was nothing he could do for me.
Please, team.
Gosh.
How old were you, Lou? About 25?
So quite recently, then?
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Did you sing a song to exhibit your skills? Yeah, he had a microphone in the middle of the room and said just, you know, belt out of tune to see where I was at, sort of musically.
What was this for?
I was in a band, yeah.
What was the band?
Jeff Leppard.
Jeff Leppard? What is that? Is that a Def Leppard tribute band?
No, just five girls having a nice time.
But it wasn't a tribute band.
We did 3 of our own Jeff Leppard songs, and we did 1 Def Leppard song as a nod.
Do you remember the titles of any of those songs?
Yeah, Rocking in the Evening with my friend called Stevening.
I didn't know that was one of yours.
How did that go?
Rocking in the evening with my friend called Stevening.
I mean, the range is incredible.
You couldn't let the producers know that Lou's having a breakdown, could you?
Was it the band's idea to send you for singing lessons?
Yeah, so it's
and
just
how
me.
did that conversation go? Was it awkward?
No, because I knew that I was sort of limited in certain areas. I was a great front man. What do you call it? A front lady? That sounds rude.
You're a great band, but I don't like the look of your front lady.
What song did you do at the lesson?
It was the one from Mannequin. And, you know... I'll just sing it, and then you'll know it. And we can build this dream together.
You know, there were certainly some of the notes.
I think I need to stop you there, Rob. It's true. Yeah, but she could be good at acting. Perhaps she's got the voice of an angel and she's lying.
La 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 la.
I don't know, Les.
I now think it's a lie.
I think it's a lie.
You think it's a lie? I'll go with my team.
OK, saying it's a lie. Lou, truth or lie?
Truth.
Yes, it's true.
I had to secretly put my clothes on during a Zoom call, so the pop star I was interviewing wouldn't realise I was naked.
All right, Lee's team.
OK, just for David's sake, what is a pop star?
Someone within the realm of popular music.
Yeah, who
Bing
was
Crosby
it?
and the like.
Bing Crosby, yeah.
The pop star in question was Justin Timberlake.
But wait,
JT.
did you know in advance that you were going to have this Zoom?
I didn't necessarily know the time because I was asleep.
What time is it UK time?
5 p.m.
What were you wearing at the start of the meeting?
Nothing.
Literally nothing?
At 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah.
You don't butt naked nap in the afternoon. Like, you do naked naps in the morning-ish if you haven't left the house yet. Full naked at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
I don't think I...
Picture it, Maya. Imagine this with no clothes on and a pipe in the mouth.
So he didn't notice. You got through the whole of the interview.
He had no idea. I've woken up, I've realised I was late, didn't have any clothes on, and at that point, I've realised, OK, just quickly get there and put a T-shirt on, because I know that, obviously, it's only top half. Join the call.
That's worse.
Yeah.
Because if you see someone in a T-shirt and then you're like, what the... Whereas if he's all naked, you go, he's got out of the shower, he's timed it wrong, but a T-shirt, you think, why dress that half first?
I think, as well, me and him have the same manager, and she's very organised, and I feel like she wouldn't have let you miss a call, because she rings my phone like 100 million times before calls.
Yeah, but she's not as interested in his career.
Maya, this is very much your world, the way you talked about your manager, and it was exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm...
Because Rob, you're still looking for representation.
Yes. I've been in London now for 30 years, and fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, I think it is very believable, but I just think Justin Timberlake's a massive artist. You would have been prepared for it, so I think it's a lie.
I think when you call Justin Timberlake, there's layers of people, aren't there?
Mate, have you ever interviewed anyone one-to-one, so you don't go via... Can you literally press Zoom and now you're interviewing someone?
Yeah, I did Madison Beer, and we had her and me only on the screen.
You mean the Madison Beer?
Yes, the one your favourite.
You have Madison Beer. David, she had Madison Beer.
Madison Beer, that's heir to the beer fortune. It's a big business, beer, isn't it?
OK, what's your team thinking, Lee?
So what do we think?
I'm going to go with a lie.
I think it's a lie.
Lie.
They're all saying it's a lie. Roman.
It's a lie.
I really wish it was a lie, because it's actually true.
Yes, it's true. Roman really did interview Justin Timberlake in the nude.
A bodyguard once rushed me to safety after a fan went to extreme lengths to get into my hotel room.
Oh, this is ringing bells with you, Lee. Off you go.
What was the extreme lengths this fan went to?
Basically, we unloaded our suitcases off the tour bus, and she had got herself into a suitcase and planted it.
Was she called Mrs. Houdini? What are you talking about?
Obviously, she's like someone must have put her there.
Was it zipped up?
I think so.
So I'm picturing it more like Scooby-Doo, like a potato sack tied with rope, and it's sort of moving. And they're saying, whose bag's this? And she said, no one, just take it to Austin's room.
Was it a woman or a man?
Oh, no, we were told it was a girl.
So you never saw this girl?
Might you have packed her in the previous hotel? You know, it's a bit of a crazy night and you're packing your stuff, and the next thing you know, she turns up at the next Premier Inn.
Yeah, no.
Did you get any description of this girl?
She was all right, apparently, but that was...
What are you thinking, Michaela?
I'm thinking it's probably true. I mean, fans do crazy things, don't they?
Ah, it's hard, isn't it? I think it might be true.
I think it might be a lie, but I'm going to go...
Well, I'm going to change my mind and go with you, then.
No, we can't do that. If you say true and you say true and I go, well, I think it's a lie, but we'll go true. I'm covered both ways, aren't I? But this way now...
You're on this every week. You don't get Greg Wallace tasting a meal and going, I don't know, what do you think of it?
In that case, we're going to say it's a lie.
You say it's a lie. Aston, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It's true.
I was once driven to A&E in an ice cream van. In place of a siren, the driver turned on the musical chimes.
What happened to you that involved having to go to A&E?
Well, I was playing rounders, and I ran in between bases, and I sort of went over on my ankle. And it was in Cornwall.
Your ankle?
Yeah. That's how far out of place it went.
Blimey!
So I was in real proper agony, like, honestly, I thought I was going to black out. It hurt so much. And somebody phoned an ambulance, and it probably was about 25 minutes, and still no sign. This bloke came over from the ice cream van, and he said, I'll take you to the hospital.
So they're trying to dial the emergency service. Perhaps instead of dialing 999, they press 99. It's easily done. So you've gone over on your ankle, and the ice cream man has seen you from a distance, hasn't
Well, we didn't have a car. We all got the train down, so no one had a car with them.
Right.
So this bloke said, I'll give you... And I was just... The idea of getting to somewhere where they could just give me a painkilling injection would have been lovely.
And presumably you didn't get the siren going straight away?
No, it wasn't the siren. It was Greensleeves.
Well, Greensleeves, but...
Did you, give him some money for lost trade?
Oh, no. John, when you've been a celebrity a bit longer, you'll realise that money is no longer relevant.
Whereabouts in Cornwall were you?
I was in Truro.
I don't understand why you would put the siren on.
I think I did mention to him that I liked music from the Tudor period.
I also don't understand why you were in Truro, because if you didn't drive, you would have got the fast service to Penzance.
Our holiday was a combination of rail travel and taxis. And a little bit of ice cream vans.
So, time for a decision.
What do we think?
I'm not happy with it.
You're not happy with it?
Not happy with it.
You're not having it?
Oh, I think it's true.
I don't want to become Trevor Travel Planner, but if... I mean, a rounders kit is something you throw in the boot of a car. You don't take it on a train.
OK, so you're saying it's true?
I think it's true.
John thinks it's a lie?
Yeah.
We'll say it's a lie, then.
You're going to say it's a lie? OK, Frank, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Frank wasn't driven to A&E in an ice cream van. In fact, accidents involving ice cream vans are incredibly rare, yet always result in the tragic loss of hundreds and thousands.
I once couldn't go to the loo because someone famous was in the cubicle next to me.
Right. David's team.
Oh, so, who?
Beyonce.
Oh, come on. Now, Kush, where are we?
OK, so I went to the Met Gala a few years ago when I was still living in New York, and she was there.
Do you know what the Met Gala is?
I do.
You do?
Do you? Yeah. It's a big sort of party / charity event in New York where lots of famous people turn up in costumes and I don't know, and I assume then it's sort of drinks and nibbles.
When you go there, there's like a massive party inside, but there's also only really 1 or 2 toilets, so lots of famous people end up queuing for the loo, and it's taking them a lot of time to get out of the outfits to have a wee, because everyone needs help, because all the outfits are really high-tech.
Who was in your queue?
Well, Barbara Streisand was behind me.
No.
Wow.
And Beyonce was in front of me.
Did Beyonce have security with her?
Everybody had like 2 or 3 people with them to help them in and out of their stuff. So she was in a very tight, tube-like dress made out of plasticky stuff. I got in the cubicle, and obviously she went in one before me, and I went in the one next to her, and I could hear...
She's in there with... She's in there with 2 other people.
Yes, so I'm not sure if you've been in a girl's toilet recently, David, but anybody that needs an outfit that needs help, we go in together and we help each other with it.
Beyonce is like Queen Bee. I just don't think she would queue. I think she's got a toilet built outside separately.
At that level, you can probably organise it that you have, like, one massive wee at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then you're done. Because otherwise, you're just too busy.
God, I'd kill for that.
So you're in the cubicle, you can hear... next door.
You can hear everyone in the other toilets trying to do the same thing, but get, you know, oh, here, unpin this, oh, wait, I'll sew this.
Further along, could you hear memories like the corners? We've got nothing to be guilty of. I am a woman in love. No?
No.
Oh, what a stuck-up old cow. She could have given a song, didn't she?
Anyway, so she started to wee.
You heard it?
You heard Beyonce.
Well, that was why I couldn't go. I could hear her stream.
Oh.
And...
Islands in the stream, that is what we are.
I just felt it was my most magical moments of my life. I thought maybe if I listened, I could maybe take on some of the magic or something, like it would rub off on me in some way, just in the...
Well, if she missed the toilet, it definitely would, wouldn't it?
So I couldn't go. I couldn't go.
Did you talk to her? Who did you talk to that night, Kush?
It was hosted by Taylor Swift and Tom Hiddleston.
Oh.
And I think I was sat between Sarah Jessica Parker and Grandmaster Flash.
Oh, wow.
And tonight...
Lee Mack and Tim Vine. But if it's worth anything, I have been to the toilet whilst we've been doing this.
OK, it's time to take a guess. Is Kush telling the truth?
I want it to be true, because I love the idea of the sort of crackly dress and, like, being unable to... Because I think I can imagine that.
I want it to be true as well, so that we can go to the Met Gala together next year. She laughed like, yeah, right.
Yeah. I think my instinct is it's a lie.
OK, they think it's a lie. Kush, was it a lie? Or were you telling us the truth?
It was true.
Whenever I'm in the recording studio, I can only rap in complete darkness.
Well, David, what are the chances that somebody else has the same method as you? What do you think?
Complete darkness?
Complete, absolute, nothing on.
Why?
Because I don't like anybody to see me when I'm performing. It's a bit weird, actually, when I think about it.
But you've got, like, 60 million views on YouTube.
It's different, though, because it's just me and the cameraman. And then, you know, when you get into the studio, it's quite intimate.
I feel anxious about the fire escape light. What do you do about that?
Classic Mike. She's talking rap, you're talking health and safety.
So let me ask you this then. If it's total darkness, you can't be looking at any lyric... I was going to say sheet music, but I suppose if you're rapping, it's not that.
I'm so sorry about my granddad.
You can't be looking at lyrics. Have you memorised the lyrics, or are you improvising the lyrics?
Sometimes I will be prepared, so I've already written the lyrics in my phone.
Well, for your generation, the phone is a companion, isn't it? It's more than it is for Lee, which is sort of a lifeline. It's a friend, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have you got the red button in the bathroom now as well?
Yes. And what about the other musicians in the studio?
So there was a time when I randomly ended up in studio with Peter Andre.
Peter Andre?
Yeah, so weird, isn't it?
Wow.
And
But his orange glow just lit up the room.
But he genuinely was saying, you know, what are you doing? I was like, this is the only way I can record.
So how did it come about?
So that came about because I was on the Celebrity Circle.
Lisa, for the sake of older guys like Lee, just explain the circle and what it was.
Right, so the Celebrity Circle, it was basically... It's like a text screen. And you can only
So, Rob, can you explain what texting is?
It's just that little thing on your phone when you
For
press
Lee,
send.
can you explain what a screen is? It's not that thing they bring round the bed when they change your dressing. It's a different sort.
For Rob, could you just speak a bit louder?
For Lee, could you not make any sudden movements?
Could you take Rob to the toilet?
What are we thinking? Philippa, this is one for a psychotherapist to unpick.
It's a lie, no.
You don't believe it? No, because I believe it.
And you're quite excited by it as well,
no,
which is nice to see.
What do you think?
I think she's playing you like a fiddle. I think lie.
I'm very comfortable with this scenario because if you both think it's a lie, I'm not going to overrule you. We'll go lie, but I'll say, oh, actually, I thought it was true, and that is win-win. We are going to say lie.
All right, let's find out. Lady Leisha, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It was the truth.
OK. I once had to interview Lady Gaga using an American accent because her manager told me there was no way she'd be able to understand my northern voice.
Can you repeat that? I didn't understand a word of it. So, your accent, you are from?
Blackburn, Lancashire.
Which?
An exotic place.
I grew up in Blackburn.
Did you now?
Hey, maybe we were in the same year at school.
Unlikely. What school did you go to?
I went to a school that was confusingly called Everton High School, which is in Blackburn.
It's been abolished, though, hasn't it?
It's been demolished.
It's demolished.
Well, it has. It's not been abolished. It's been demolished, and as is my dad's house, and as the house we lived in before that.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
it's every comedian's dream to have a blue plaque outside a house, but they're just wiping all history of me.
Oh, my God. The hospital that I was born in has been knocked down as well, and now it's a block of flats across from what used to be where we used to go shopping, Quick Save. That's been knocked down too.
My mum used to work at Quick Save.
No
I hope she
way.
got out before they knocked it down. I haven't seen it for a while.
They've even knocked down the brewery.
Have they?
Oh, my God.
OK, I'm going to step in at this point
my
and just see if we can open the show out to people who didn't grow up in Blackburn.
Wow.
So, you were interviewing Lady Gaga. Why were you... Shut up. Why were you interviewing Lady?
I was presenting a music TV show.
Of course.
And, yeah, she was promoting one of her brand new singles.
I want to confirm you've met Lady Gaga.
Yeah, 100%.
Is she very little?
She's not very little.
How little?
I'd say she's about 5'6".
Pretty tall. Pretty tall, I must say. Statuesque, surely.
How far did you get into the interview before Lady Gaga said, I haven't understood a single word this lady has said to me?
I was chatting away, asking her loads of questions, really liked her outfit.
I just want a figure, just a number. Just
OK.
just minutes.
I'd say, I don't know, like 2 minutes.
Was that 2 minutes mainly you talking about what in Blackburn had been demolished?
Yeah.
And when you did the American, did she do Blackburn from then on as well?
Lady Gaga.
All right. What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's true because...
Why?
Well, because it's very plausible that AJ has interviewed Lady Gaga, and it's also plausible that Lady Gaga just doesn't understand more than one kind of accent.
Well, here's the thing. Can you understand what she's saying?
Yes, because I'm bright.
Right.
Lady Gaga, your songs are great, your outfits are tremendous, but not so good with the English. So...
Are you struggling to understand her Lancashire accent?
No. This is where I'm worried that it might not be true, because I think every
very
word...
clear, isn't it?
It is pretty
And
clear.
the other thing about Americans is, I find, as someone from the north myself, that they think we're all posh. They just think everyone with an English accent is posh, so we all sound the same to them.
Mate, they do not think you're posh. Let me tell you that right now.
What are you going to say on behalf of your team?
Right. Well, I don't know.
I'm saying true.
True.
OK, we're going to go true, but I can't understand why Lady Gaga can't understand her accent.
All right, but you're saying true. OK, AJ, were you telling us the truth or were you telling us a lie?
I was telling you a lie!
Wow. It's a lie. AJ didn't interview Lady Gaga in an American accent.
Until last year, I believed that reindeer were fictional creatures like unicorns, until my 6-year-old daughter told me the truth.
Please, team.
Until
how long ago?
Last year.
Oh. Is it because Father Christmas's reindeers fly? So that's why they couldn't possibly
maybe
be
that's
true?
why I came to that
get that.
conclusion. That I just felt like it was a ridiculous notion, yeah.
You were aware of deer, though, weren't you?
Yes, actually I was.
So you'd
Because
seen
of Bambi.
deer?
Hang on, because of a fiction... This doesn't make sense. You've seen a fictional reindeer...
Well, if
flying in the sky.
if Bambi flew, then I probably wouldn't have believed in deer.
What about Dumbo? Did you not believe in elephants?
Did you stop believing in carpets when you saw Aladdin?
You know, I remember my ex-husband telling me that the moon was made of cheese, and I believed that. Like, there are things that I...
I think we should stop here for a second. You genuinely believed what your husband said when he said the cheese?
Well, I thought maybe it had, like, the same chemical makeup as cheese.
Can I just point out, Lily, you are saying this out loud on television.
Wow. Let's go back to the conversation between you and your little girl. How did it come about and what did she say?
I was going to take them on a trip to Lapland.
Right.
My daughter said, are there going to be reindeer? And I said, don't be ridiculous, reindeer aren't real.
What was her reaction to that?
She had been to another farm in Gloucestershire and had seen some reindeer, so she knew that reindeer were real.
And how long did this carry on?
Until I googled reindeer.
Wow.
So, what are you going to say?
Well, it's a tricky one, because I can't believe she's never, up until that point, seen a reindeer.
I don't understand how you can go through life without seeing a real reindeer.
Sorry, are we talking about reindeer? Not...
Hello, David.
No, but... Sorry, because reindeer, they don't exist, do they?
Grandpa's woken up from his sleep on Christmas Day.
You can definitely go through your life without seeing reindeer.
No, you can't.
They're not like pigeons.
So what's it going to be, Lee? Let's go for a decision.
I mean, I still can't believe that giraffes are real. I've been to the zoo and I've seen giraffes. I still don't quite believe they're real.
Did you get out and feel it like Noddy would? I think it's a lie.
She's very believable, though.
You think she's lying, but she's believable?
Yeah.
What kind of answer is that? hope it's a lie, for Lily's sake.
Lily, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
I was telling a lie.
Hey. When I was Baby Spice, I mainly just ate baby food.
David Steve.
So you only ate baby food?
Yeah. So I moved in with the girls. We lived together. And we didn't have very much money. So I used to eat baby food.
What were the other girls eating at this stage?
Beans on toast, corned beef and rice.
Corned beef and rice? Who was eating that?
Who do you think?
I'd go for Mel B.
Yeah.
No, will I? Just eat it.
It would never occur to me to eat baby food. How did you discover that?
It was either my nephew or a cousin, a baby, and I must have just tasted it.
What were you were stealing baby food off a child?
I still do it now with my own kids.
What were your stools like?
I don't think that question's ever been asked before on this show.
I'm not going to answer that.
But because
you
having...
don't have to answer
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Because
Please.
having been an active father with nappy changing, I know the effect that stuff has on your system.
I think there's a trajectory. What you're talking about is when a baby goes from just having milk to having the first baby food, there is a marked change in the nature of the stool. Basically, it turns into normal excrement, which is not very nice, from being extremely, the most pleasant of the excrements is the excrement of a baby before it is weaned. I'm not saying it's an actively nice substance, but of all the excrements, it's definitely my favourite.
Can I just say, David, on behalf of the team, thank you for getting us past Sean's awkward moment.
Thank you. If you like, I'll rank all of the excrements. So I would prefer horse to dog. Who wouldn't? No one puts dog on their roses.
Tell you what, why don't you relax for a little while? So, what are you going to say?
I think it's a lie.
What do you think?
I think it's false.
We're going to go lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Right. Emma, truth or lie?
Unfortunately, it's true.
Oh.